Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for joining us for a third in our series of webinars for 2023 to be hosted by the Digital Health Team and the Community Healthcare in CDLMS. Just to make you aware that we're recording this webinar, and you'll see a little pop-up box would have come up on your screen to say this. These webinars will be 40 minutes covering one aspect. The webinar for today is Microsoft Teams. My name is Geraldine Snee and I'm the team admin for the Digital Health Team in CDLMS. I will be the MC for the webinar today. I am joined by Kathy Murtha, Digital Support for the Primary Care in Sligo, Leitrim and South Donegal, Lisa Kelly, Digital Support for CDLMS, Nicola Burke, Digital Support for Primary Care North Donegal, and Aisling Gannon, our General Manager. The aim of our webinars are to showcase digital work across the CDLMS with the view that this will help others who may be thinking about the process in their pathways, that they will like to digitalise. We want to create digitally enabled workforce using the tools that we currently have. A few points from today's webinar. This is being recorded and this will be available to view on our YouTube channel, which we will be sending you a link for in the coming days. Please note that the video will only record the panel and not the audience members or the chat feed. For the audience attendees, you will note that your audio and video is turned off. We will answer your questions at the end of the webinar. For any questions that you want to post in the host box, which is the chat box at the bottom of the right hand of the screen. Today's webinar, we're focusing on Microsoft Teams. Now I'll hand you over to Aisling. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geraldine. Hello everyone, you're very welcome to our webinar today. And as Geraldine said, my name's Aisling Gannon. I'm the General Manager for the Digital Health Team. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome you all to this exciting webinar focused on developing essential digital skills using the powerful collaboration tool, Microsoft Teams. By leveraging the capabilities of tools like Microsoft Teams, we can seamlessly connect across teams and services and streamline our communication channels and foster collaboration among different stakeholders. Throughout this webinar, we will expand on the eHealth Teams training and will explore various features, functionalities and best practices. Our goal is to equip you with the essential digital skills that you need to leverage this powerful tool to its fullest potential. By the end of this session, we hope you have a solid foundation and practical insights to enhance your collaborative efforts, streamline your communication and maximize productivity. Today, we've had hundreds of people engage with our content through attending our live webinars, viewing our catalogue and watching our videos on the YouTube channel. So before I start, I want to express my thanks to Geraldine, Nicola, Lisa and Kathy for all their hard work and expertise and collaboration to drive forward these valuable learning tools. Our digital health team plays a vital role in harnessing the transformation power of technology to enhance healthcare delivery, improve patient outcomes and drive innovation. To all our participants, I encourage you to actively engage and ask questions at the Q&A session after the demos. So with all that said, let's get started. And I'm going to hand you over to Kathy and Lisa.
That's great, Aisling. Thank you. Again, thanks to everyone for joining us today. I know there's lots to learn when it comes to Microsoft Teams. So for anyone that's just new to Teams, eHealth is your first port of call. So they have monthly training webinars. Nicola's going to add the link to the chat, which shows you how to apply for your license, how to get set up with making calls, organize meetings, use your Teams calendar and housekeeping, such as creating fun backgrounds, and you can even personalize them. We are conscious not to duplicate what eHealth are providing, so we won't be covering any of those topics today. So what is Microsoft Teams? Microsoft Teams is an app by Microsoft which is being utilized with the migration to the Health IRL domain. Microsoft Teams enables a hub for teamwork where HSE employees can collaborate together on projects, documents and more. So today we're going to be looking at creating multiple groups and teams and creating channels within the teams. We're going to be adding and removing members. Then we're going to look at the chat function, how to tag members and how to create announcements. We're going to use the Meet button within the chat to show you how you can call without using the calendar. We're going to manage posts to include channel settings and permissions, and we're going to show you how to attach a file in your channel. And where to find them once they're uploaded. Sharing files with people who aren't part of the team. Then she's going to take you through approvals, So this is how to use the approvals function within Teams. She's going to look at how you can add other Microsoft apps to your Teams site. And finally, she's going to take you through what's available in settings. So I'm just going to share my Teams page with you there. And we're going to start off with just creating a team. So many of you probably, when you open it, you'll be in your calendar. So you can just go to the left and click on Teams. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side here, these are all the teams that I'm part of. So if I want to create a team, I just click on Join or Create a Team. And you're presented with 3 boxes here, but we're going to click the first one, Create Team. And we're going to create a team from scratch. Then you're presented with 2 options, private or public. The public option, if I create a team, anyone in the HSE can ask permission to join the team. With the private one, it only allows people that I add to the team. So I'm going to click private, give the team a name. And you can add a description if you like. Once I hit create, it's then going to bring me to a page where I can add the members of my team. And it looks like, it feels like we're working on a Monday with how slow it is today. Apologies. Just going to close this and we'll try again and see. Sometimes it happens, there's a lag on it. We're going to go private. Digital test and create. Now, here we are. So my team is created. Now it's asked me to add members to the digital team. So now here is where I can add my members. You can add as many as you like. I'm going to add. Okay, and press add. Now you can see that the 3 members are added, and by default they're just selected as a member. This is their authorization for the group. So they can either be an owner or a member. I'm going to leave them as a member for now, and later on I'm going to show you the difference between owners and members in a team. So I'm going to hit close. And now if you take a look to the left-hand side of the screen, you can see digital test team has been created. And by default, every team that you create is assigned a channel. So this channel is where you connect. This is the channel here. It's where you connect with your team. It's where you share files and you collaborate in documents. Any administration that you want to do with the team, managing the team, you go to the 3 dots here. So by selecting the 3 dots, you get a drop-down box. So you have lots of different choices here when it comes to managing the team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a few of them. We're going to go to Manage Team. This, if you were ever unsure of who is part of your team, so I know I've just created a team, but if you wanted to go and check who's part of that team, click on Manage Team. It'll bring you to a couple of different tabs here. If we start off with the first one, you'll see members. So you can see that I'm an owner of the team. This box drops down here. And if I click on members, you can see that Gráinne, Lisa and Aisling are members of the team. Now, just to show you, we advise and teams advise to always have 2 owners of a team, because I'll show you why now. If you go back to the 3 dots and I try to leave the team, you're presented with a box. You're the last owner of the digital team. There must be at least 1 other owner for the team. And the reason why this is because the administration permissions for an owner is that they can manage certain settings on the team. They can add members and remove guests, and they can change the team settings. So we need to have 1 more owner, because if I leave the team, then there's nobody else responsible. So all you do is go down to member and you select owner. And now you'll see that Gráinne has been moved up to the top. So now myself and Gráinne are owners, and we have Lisa and Aisling as members. Also, if you decide in a couple of weeks' time, say a new person has joined your team, it's easy. All you do is you can do it in a couple of different places to add a member. You can add them here. You can add the person here at the 3 dots. It's the same drop-down box, or back here to the 3 dots. So either option, you can add a member. So I'm going to add one here. Again, you're brought back to the same box that you at the very beginning. I'm going to add another member and press add. And now Sinead will be part of the members list. And alternatively as well, say if Aisling decided to leave the group, she wanted to move department, all you have to do is go to the X and remove a member here and they're gone. Okay. If you move over to the pending requests, you're never going to get a pending request because if you remember at the start, we created a private team, which means only people that I invite to the team will be able to add to the team. So this, you'll never get a request because the team isn't made public. If we move to channels, this is where you can create a new channel for your team. So as I said before at the start, every team is assigned a general channel. But if I wanted to add a new channel, say a private channel between myself and one of the managers to share some documents, I can go to the three dots here, go to add channel, and I'm going to just name it managers. Okay, and down to the privacy section, if I leave it at standard, everyone on the team can have access to all the documents that we share. So this is where I press the drop down and I select private. Once I hit create, it's at this stage then that it's going to allow me to start typing in who I want to add to this private channel. So I'm going to hit Lisa. As well, if I try to type somebody that's not on the initial team, it won't allow me. So which is a good security feature. So it's only the people that are on the original team that you can add into the separate channels. I'm going to add, and I'm going to make Lisa an owner as well. And I'm going to press done. And remember, as I said before, if you want to go back into manage channel, you can change people's permissions from owner to member. There is also another option when you're creating members and people on teams. It's called guests. So guests are people from outside the organization. This has been disabled because it's only people within the organization that can be part of the Teams app here. Okay, so now I'm going to move over. We'll go back to manage the team and we're going to go across to, so we've gone through these. I'm going to go to settings. So settings is a handy feature. There's lots of different things to do here for your team. If you go to teams, you can, team picture, sorry, you can upload a picture that you've saved onto your computer. I'm not going to do it now, but if you have a logo for your department. Member permissions. So as you can see, these are all the permissions for the members. So they have access to create and update channels, to create private channels. If you wanted to disable any of them, all you do is you go in and untick the box. So you can have a read through there and it's quite handy. You can change permissions for the members. As you can see, I mentioned guest permissions here, but we don't have the guests, so we don't use this one. You're also allowed to disable the staff putting in emojis and memes and different things. Some managers like that, some managers don't. So again, it's adaptable to each team. So we're going to go back up and we're going to have a look at the analytics tab. So the analytics tab is a great visual tool and allows you to see your site's usage. So I'm just going to, just because it's a new one, it doesn't give me much information, but once you go in, you're able to see how many meetings you've had in the channel and you can pick for the last 7 days, 30 days and 90 days. So it's a nice visual tool to have. You can also filter to individual channels or you can have a look at all your channels. Then you have the apps tab, which Lisa is going to go through later on. And then we have the tags. So I'm going to show you how to create a tag and then in a few moments when we go back into the channels, I'm going to show you how useful they are. So creating a tag, I'm going to call the tag admin staff. And here I'm going to start adding my admin staff. Okay, so I have Grania and Sinead as my admin staff and press create. Now, so that is everything that's in the managed team. What I'm going to go down now is I'm going to show you, sorry, I'm in the wrong one there. back into our general channel, and I'm just going to go through this post section. So the post section is similar to the chat feature, except anything that you upload into your posts, any conversations that you have, it's only visible for the members of the digital test team. So a moment ago, I just showed you about, I added Grania and Sinead as a tag. So if I press the @ if I want to write a message, you can have as many people tagged. So I could have 10, 15 people tagged in the admin. I just have 2 for now. If I press the @ and start typing admin and click on it, okay, and press enter. So Grania and Sinead now both are going to get an activity ping here to say that there's a message in the channel. It just means that instead of having to type in 5, 6, 7 names, I've tagged them all into one group. You could have a tag for managers, you could have a tag for physios, you know, different departments. It's up to yourself. We're going to move on to now. Another function when you use the chat is if you go down to the formatting. So as you see, the message that came up here is quite small. If I wanted to change that to make it like a bold or an urgent message, I can go to new conversation, hit the drop down box and change it to an announcement. So with an announcement, automatically you can see that the font and the headline has enlarged. So urgent meeting. Also, if you want to make it really stand out, you can go over here to the end and hit the exclamation mark, and the exclamation mark populates important here. Okay, and I'm going to press send. So now you can see the difference between the small message and the large message. And because I hit the important, you have this icon here, so it alerts everyone to the team that it's an important message. What I'm going to show you now is once we go in, if you want to send a message to multiple teams. So instead of just sending it to digital test, say I wanted to send it to my ECC group and my team called Kathy. You go back into your message. Just go to meeting test. And right up at the top here, you have a choice to post in multiple channels. I'm going to go over and select channels. Then you're presented with the option of picking all the channels that you want your message to go into. Okay, and I'm going to press update. Okay, so now, please stop. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the message has come up in this channel, and I'm going to go to Kathy General, and the message has come up, and I'm going to go to ECC General channel, and the message has come up. So that's a real handy tool to have if you have a couple of different teams, if you want to reach them at the same time. And there is Ashin, part of the team, got the message. So you can see as soon as she gets the message, it pops up in here, which is great. It's really instant and it's really efficient. Also, we like to use this function within our teams because this is where collaboration and team sharing, as I said, happens. The reason why it's the preferred channel is because when you attach files in it, it prevents those bulky attachments in your emails, and then it clogs up your mailbox. So if you use this to use for collaboration and back and forth sharing files, then you're preventing all that. Also, because your team were created with only the members you choose within the organization, it's easier to keep track of who you're sharing information with. Similarly, in the chat function in posts, it allows you to instant message your team. And I showed you before about tagging the members, which is a quite handy function. Now also in the channel in the team, I'm going to show you, I can actually call the members of my team without having to go out to calendar or without having to go to calls. All I do is go up and click the meet button here. So in the meet button, it starts a call. It actually calls it general after it's a general channel in your team. If I click join, I'm presented then with I can copy the meeting link if I want to share it, or I can add participants. The participants I can add to the call. As you can see, it's only the people that are in the team. Okay, I'm going to leave that. So I'm in the wrong one at the minute. So yeah, that's a handy one to have. If you go to Meet, you can just, I've gone into the wrong one now, sorry now, bear with me. Yeah. So the meeting one, it's only the members of the channel, which is quite good. I'm going to show you now how to share a file. So if I want to share a file with the rest of the team and I want them to have a look at it, what I can do is go down to my new conversation and I'm going to click on the paperclip. So the paperclip is the upload file. So what I'm going to do is upload from my computer. As you can see, it just takes a minute to upload. And you can type here as well. Please see attached. And you can actually upload, it doesn't have to be a Word document either. You can upload a picture, you can upload a folder, you can upload any type of document, which is, it's really, really quite handy. I'm sorry now, it's taken a bit longer than usual today. But once this is uploaded then, Lisa is going to take you through how you can access it, which is quite handy. So we're going to, Lisa, it's typical this happened to us
I
today.
know, yeah, totally. All week it's been slow, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
We'll
so what I'm
persevere.
going to do, yeah, sometimes this happens. Look, it happens all the time actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to X out of it and we're going to try it one more time. Headphone duster. Oh, here we are now. This is quicker. Now, there we go. So then anyone on the channel now is going to get a ping to say they got it. Lisa, if you just want to type in there to see if you got it.
Yeah.
And if I actually come out, I'm going to show you as well once I leave the team. If Lisa types into my digital team, I'm going to see the ping here. So once you leave a team and someone messages it, you get a ping at the top to say you have an alert. So yeah, all good. Lisa's got that. So folks, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to pass you over to Lisa, who's going to take you through everything to do with files and how to find them and share them. And okay.
Okay, so just let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep, it's up, Lisa.
Good. Okay. So like Kathy said, just bear with us if it is a little bit slow while we're going through a few demos, because it has been a bit slow all week, but hopefully it'll stick with us. Okay, so now Kathy's uploaded a file into the Teams channel. We're going to have a run through of the options of using documents within Teams. So Kathy posted a file in the chat here. But if you want to go into your files, all your files are actually kept in this tab along here. So to create a new file, it's simply this plus new button. If you go to the drop down bar here, it gives you options of what type of document you want to create. And you can also create new folders here as well. So to upload a document, if you go to the upload button and the drop down, it gives you three options. So you can upload a file, a folder, or a template. So it's really easy. Click on files, the document that you want, open it up, and hopefully within a few seconds that'll be posted into your, there you go. So a few seconds it's posted into your files tab. So, and that's available for everybody within your MS Teams group to see. So one of the things we want to show you is working on a file. So storing files on Microsoft Teams allows teams to collaborate on one document at the same time, and it also saves automatically. So to open a file to work on, you simply click in it and work away. I'm actually going to go into this channel here because we've got one that we wanted to show you. Okay, so you just click into it and it'll open up. hopefully quickly. Okay, I'll just try it one more time.
Yeah, that's the joys of Teams.
Yeah,
You
isn't
wanted to
it?
work it.
Lisa, while you're doing that, I just want to quickly just remind people that Teams isn't a document management system. So we only use it for collaboration and that for your documents to continue using your shared folders.
Okay, perfect. So this is opened up now, and the one thing that we wanted to show you is if you actually go to the, so this is opened up in the body of Microsoft Teams here into the group that you've put the files in. If you go to the top right here and the editing options, you have two options here to open the file in a browser or open it in the desktop version of Excel. So if you open it in a browser and you want to continue using it online, if you click that tab, it opens an individual tab for you, and you can then close it down in the body of MS Teams and carry on with your chats or your calls or whatever with your document in a new tab, and that will still save automatically. The option here to open in Excel is it will open it in like the desktop version. So anything that you do will still be saved in here, but you just have to remember to go file and save on this. So I just want to show you with collaboration on how you can collaborate on a document together. And so with this Excel sheet, Kathy has opened this as well. So just, I don't know if you can see Kathy's little initials here. So you can see how easily it is to go in and see who is doing something at the same time that you're in a document. And this is especially helpful with documents like Excel, because although with Excel you can share workbooks, you never really know who's on what line, on what row. So that can cause issues if you're trying to have a few people working on that document. Whereas on this, you can actually see quite easily where Kathy is and what she's doing. So that's just a really good sort of team feature to have if if you do have a lot of documents that you're working on together. So one of the other things that we wanted to show as well was just an option to track changes on documents. This is another great tool for collaboration and seeing who has been working on documents. And if you go to the top here, the drop-down bar, if you click on the version history, this will bring up different versions of the document on the right-hand side. And this is all the different changes that have been made. So the top one is the most recent and the bottom is the original document. So if I click onto something here, and it'll bring up this version of the document. It's quite easy to see. So, and if you toggle, so if you see there that this is highlighted, so this is just showing you that this is a change that's been within this document at this version, and you can either save a copy of this or you can restore it. So if anything's happened and you've decided, oh, I've made a mess of this, I want to go back to the version I did yesterday, it's quite easy to do. So that's a really good tool to have. So versioning allows you to roll back any changes and restore a previous version of the document, which is just a really useful feature. So as we mentioned, even though Microsoft Teams will save documents automatically, we do still recommend backing up documents to your Team Share drive. So to do this while you're in the document, it's the same as File, Save As, and you have the option to download a copy to your computer, and then just that you can save it from your share drive there. Okay, so we'll just go through sharing a document. Okay, so if you click onto the share option, so you go to three dots here to the right of the document, down to share, and then this allows you to share a file to other people who may not be included in the group that the file is in, but are still within the HSE. So all you do is simply type in whoever it is that you want to send the document to. This pencil icon, if you drop down, just gives you options of the permission that you want this person to have on the document, so can edit or can view, so that's up to you. If somebody's not a member of your team but you want to show them a document, then you could just have they can only view the document, not make any changes to it. If you hit send, that is then sending that document to that person in an email. So the other option is the copy link. So again, back up to the three dots here, down to copy link. This then actually pulls up a copy of the document, a copy of the link of the document that you can then, if you click copy, you get that copied to your clipboard, and you can paste it into the body of an email, or you can paste it into another one of your groups here if you want to share it with somebody. A good feature of this is we actually, if you can see, the people with existing access can use this link. So we click on that and we actually go down to people you choose. You see you have options here, anyone, people in the HSE, and people with existing access. So the anyone here is greyed out because we're only doing it within the organisation. But if you go to people you choose here, and if you select a specific person who you want to have that link, and same again here with the pencil, can edit, can view, if you click apply, so this creates a shareable link, but it's specific to that person. So you can see that Granya's name's in the link there. Now, if you send that to Grania and say she, or you accidentally send it to somebody else, if you send it to them and they're not in that link, they won't be able to open it. It just comes up saying that they don't have access. So that's quite a good feature to have. So there's a few more settings here along the top. They're sort of duplicated here within these three dots. The other one we wanted to show you as well was the delete. So anything can be deleted. It's simply the delete there, or it's duplicated at the top there for the delete button. So one of the things that we were going to show was the apps feature. So the great thing about Microsoft Suite of Apps is that they're all able to link in with each other. So when you create a group in Microsoft Teams, it does automatically create a SharePoint collaboration site which sits behind Microsoft Teams. And we will be covering this in more detail and how it links into MS Teams in another webinar. But we just wanted to show you the apps. Okay, so if you click onto this apps button on your left-hand navigation pane, it does bring up a variety of different applications that you could have and the possibilities that you can use. Now, this is dependent on what permissions you do have, but a few of the options you can have is SharePoint, Microsoft Planner, and OneNote, for example. So you can see here on mine, I have add, I have open, and I have request. So I can add these on. If I click onto them, they'll click into my group. Open means I've already had this option added in, and request, I'd have to send in a request to have that added. So when you choose which app you want, they will appear here. And if you right click, you can pin them as well into your navigation pane. So it's just a bit easier for you to get to them. So that's just a good option to go through to see, to, just get the most out of your teams. Okay, so one of the apps that we do actually use is something called Approvals. So we'll just go into that now. I'll just go back into the chat to make this turn. Okay, so it's back into your post channel. Oh, I think it's frozen on me. Oh, no, it's coming. It's just been slow. Sorry now. Okay. So it's the same thing as when you go down to put in for a new conversation. So if you click on this, and you see the three dots down the bottom here is messaging extension. So if you click on that, and it will bring up, you can search for your app here that you want to use, or our one is the recent one that we use, so it's Approvals. So you can click in here, and it's basically a good way of sending documentation to other people in the group if you want them to approve something for you. So just wait for this to load up and I'll show you how to do it. So we use the basic request, and so if I call this document review, and who do I want to review the document? Oh, I put Kathy. Okay, and you have an option of priority to medium or important. You can add any additionals. details here if you want. And then down the bottom is add an attachment. So you can upload it from my computer. And then that will attach the document to the approval that I want Kathy to look at and say yes or no for this document. So I'm going to send that to Kathy, and then she will get a ping then to say that I've sent something to her, and Kathy can either approve it or reject it for me. Now, one thing about using approvals in the post channel is that whoever is in your team is able to see what you've sent. So this is not private. This is just for anybody within your team to review. So a private way of doing it is, so you can see there, Kathy's just approved it, so it's changed to green. So that's, thank you very much, Kathy. So another way of doing it so it's private is if you actually go down to the left-hand side here, and if you go into your approvals this side, hopefully it'll load up reasonably quickly. Okay, so you can see here that this is a list of the approvals I've received and a list of the approvals that I've sent. So, and you can see that I've had them approved or rejected. So to create a new one, it's the top right here, new approval request. Same thing, you go through the basic request, you type it in, enter names, medium, you can add files again. So it's exactly the same process. But this is just, if you do it this way, it's private between you and whoever you send the approval to. So yeah, that's just a really good sort of app that we have, that we use quite frequently as a team. So one of the other things that we wanted to have a quick run through are some really sort of helpful things within Microsoft Teams that you can use. So if you go to your profile here at the top and the drop down bar here, you can actually change your status. So you have a couple of options available: busy, do not disturb, etc. But you can actually have, if you have choose something like do not disturb, you can also set a status message. So whoever is going to ping you, say that in MS Teams in a chat, but you have do not disturb on, they'll get a message back in whatever it is that you put here. So be back in 1 hour, say. Now you can also tag people in this as well. So if I say Nicola here, please contact. So be back in an hour, please contact Nicola. So people who send me a message while I'm in do not disturb will have this bounce back to them. And if you tick the box here, show when people message me, and you can also customize how long do you want to have it on, clear it. So never clear it, have it cleared after an hour, 4 hours, etc. Now you can see here as well, you get a schedule for out of office, but I'll show you, we'll go into settings to do that. So that's quite a handy one to have, just to let people know that you're away. So the 3 dots at the top here, if you're setting them, there's quite a few useful things in this that some people aren't aware of. So the first thing is your zooms button. So you can zoom in or zoom out, whichever you want. And then another great one as well that we like is the keyboard shortcuts. So if you click keyboard shortcuts, it brings up all a list of your keyboard shortcuts, and it's just a great little tool to have, you know, just to go through those and increase your knowledge of those. That's a good thing to have. Okay, so the other thing we wanted to look at, so if I go back to settings, I'm not going to go through all of these, obviously, because it'll take a while, but we just picked out a few that you might find handy. So general, obviously this is your themes here. So you've got your default, your dark, your high contrast, your chat density. So that's just sort of personalizing how you want your teams to look. And if you scroll down here, you can see that your out of office is here. So it's the same as Microsoft Outlook. If you're on holiday, if you're out of the office for however long, you know, it's good practice to have that turned on. So it's the same sort of setup as Microsoft Outlook. Send replies for whatever time period that you're away. You can add personalized messages and things like that. So that's a handy one. Okay, so if we look under privacy, so I changed my status to do not disturb, but there is actually a manage priority access here. So if I click into this, and it just says when your status is set to do not disturb, you can still receive notifications for chats, calls, and mentions from the people below. So if I choose Kathy here again, So Kathy will just bypass my do not disturb now. So if I'm waiting to hear something from Kathy and I really need to keep an ear out for it, that's just it's a really handy tool to have, that I can be on do not disturb for anybody else. But if I need to hear something from somebody, if you pop their name in there, they'll be able to bypass the do not disturb. Okay. Another one that was on privacy as well that we use is the read receipts. So if you click this on, it basically just lets you know when people have seen your messages. It turns the little icon to the left of the message to an eye. So you're just aware that people have seen your message to them. So notifications is basically just how you want your notifications set up in Microsoft Teams with regard to missed activity. So you can personalize it here. So with regard to your missed activity emails, do you want to be reminded every hour, every 8 hours, what kind of style of notification you want, and things like that. Now, if we go down to devices, this is actually really handy one to have. So if you scroll down here, you can see make a test call. So if you're going into a meeting and you're just not aware of how your audio is set up or how your camera is set up, if you click into make a test call, it actually takes you to something called Echo, and it allows you to do a recording and it will play it back to you. So you'll know how you'll hear on the call, and it allows you to mess with the camera a little bit. So you can just make sure that you're fully set up properly before you go into a meeting. So that's a really good one to have. If I scroll down a little bit here, there is a preview of the camera as well. Now it's black at the moment because I'm on WebEx, so my camera's being used for something else, but you will see normally a little profile of yourself, and always recommend soft focus is a good one. Okay, so one thing that we did find as well on the settings is a really nice one in accessibility, and it's for sign language. So if you do have anyone who is deaf and needs a signer for a meeting, if you go to manage signers, you can actually type the name of the person who's doing the sign language in the meeting for you. Now, if you do that, normally when you're in Microsoft Teams and everybody's sort of equal on the screen, whereas if you have somebody as a known signer in there, they actually get domination of the screen. So that's just a really nice one to have for people that have hearing difficulties and they do need to have sign language. So files and links is a good one to check as well. So this is just basically making sure that you're happy with the location of any downloads that you have from your Teams. So if you want to change that, you can just click in there and browse to your computer and see that you're happy with what you want to change. So another one is the last one, which is calls. This is more sort of like a personalization thing here. So you can forward your calls, you can forward them to voicemail, you can let it ring for 10 seconds before it gets redirected. You can also configure your voicemail here. So if it's not answered in 10 seconds, it will go to your voicemail, and you can practice your recordings there. So that's just quite a good. And ringtones, of course, is always a great one to mess around with. See what sound you want coming in when somebody gives you a buzz. So they're just a few ones that we thought you might want to investigate for yourself, just to see how you can personalize your MS Teams. And we recommend going through them all and just seeing what's best for you. So that's it. And now we'll go to our top tips. Kathy, you're on mute there, I think.
Apologies.
You're good.
I just said I'm going to run through these quickly now because I know I'm conscious of time. So collaboration and communication in real time means that there's no waiting around for the latest version of the documents, because you can always be sure that you're working on the latest live version every time. Collaboration through Teams allows you to track changes on your documents. Lisa showed you that a few minutes ago, and it also allows you to recover older versions when necessary. Just to note, when you have created the final version, we would recommend to download that version to your shared folder or shared drive. So collaborating in Teams allows you to free up space in your mailbox. I know a lot of people have that precious mailbox space, and it does tend to fill up quite quickly. So when you collaborate in Teams, it takes that away. It reduces that problem. So every team who uses Microsoft Teams will have a site in SharePoint Online containing a default document library folder. So this document library folder is where all your shared files are backed up. We will cover everything SharePoint in our upcoming webinar. And lastly, permissions and security can also be customized for sensitive information. So being in charge of who is part of your team ensures security authorization every time. I'm going to pass you on to Nicola now, who's going to look after if there's any questions that's come in. Nicola?
Thank you for that, Kathy. There are 3 questions that come in, so conscious of the time, we'll go through them very quickly. The first one is, can you create multiple channels under a single team and have separate permissions for those channels?
You can. So within the private channels, you add your separate folders and you can limit the audience to these folders. So yes, the answer is yes, you can.
Okay, and we have another question here. What happens if you're collaborating on a file and accidentally delete it? Can you restore that?
You can restore it. There is a backup with files if you accidentally delete them. What happens is they go into your recycle bin in your SharePoint. They sit there for 93 days, but what you can do is you can contact Microsoft admin and they will help you recover it. Additionally, as well, sometimes people may delete Teams by accident. There's a 14-day window there. Again, what you do is you contact the Microsoft administration team and they'll be able to help you out there as well. So don't panic if that happens to you.
Okay, thanks for that. And the last question we have here is, what happens if you post a chat on an incorrect channel? Can you delete it or amend it?
Do you want to take that, Lisa, or do you want me to?
Sorry, what was that? I was just scrolling through because I got a chat come in there. What was that? Sorry.
Hey, can you delete the chat? So, do you want to answer?
Oh, you can.
I don't mind.
You can, of course, yeah. Hold on, 2 ticks. Okay, so I'll just share my screen again.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so deleting chat is easy. Let me just, can you see my screen?
Starting to come through there now, Lisa. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay, so just say I've popped in a chat there, and I just realised that I sent it to the wrong one. So it's literally, if you hover over it, these pop up and the 3 dots, and you can just choose it there, delete from the 3 dots there. So that's quite a simple one to have, yeah. Okay, so I hope that answered that.
That's great. That's all the questions that have been posted. Thank you for that.
Thank you, ladies. I hope you've enjoyed our webinar on Microsoft Teams. Our next webinar is on OneNote, which I have to say I use quite a lot myself and I love it. A Microsoft Digital Note-taking application, which is going to be held on the 14th of September. On behalf of the Digital Health team, CHCDLMS, I would like to thank you for attending today's webinar. Should you have any queries in regard to digital health, you can contact us on digitalhealth.cho1@hc.ie, and thank you for attending and have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.